Halal investment in the last decade has received wide acceptance and adoption across developed and emerging markets. Because post-2008 global financial crisis, there has been a shift to ethical and sustainable funds. The entire halal finance industry hovers around a $2 trillion valuation. In Nigeria, several financial institutions have developed products to cater for halal investments, but the participation level shows there is a lot of work to do in terms of winning more investors to their portfolio baskets. In this edition of the program, we'll be discussing investment opportunities in the halal market. And my guest is Mr. Abdulazeez Kuranga, a portfolio manager and research associate, Cordros Capital. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you for having me.
It is a pleasure having you for the first time on our show. Mr. Abdulazeez, tell us, what is halal?
Halal, it's just like purity, like doing things that are in the ways of Islam, and also, if you want to take it away from Islam, also doing things according to in particular your principles or according to ethics, according to your faith. So based on how you are, based on your principles, and also based on some aspects of the religion, in terms of doing things relating to to be ethical in nature in your doings. And if we want to take it to investment, halal investing is typical investments in activities where the underlying activities do not involve things relating with gambling, probably tobacco, conventional banking, in general things that deals with interest rates, then insurance. You're also looking at adult entertainment, gambling, and the likes. So majorly those are examples of some of these unethical practices. So Islamic investments do not involve in those kind of underlying activities. And over time also, majority of these Islamic investments, you've been seeing them in sukuk, which is fixed income securities. You're also seeing them in fixed income contracts. You're also seeing them in some options, as well as short-term fixed securities, which are Sharia compliant. And a major example which I can give for that sukuk is, if you are moving from, if you climb that Apodon bridge, as if you are going to Ikoyi, you see a signboard like Outer Marina. This is the beginning or the end of the sukuk bond. So those are what the federal government is using the fund for, especially if the federal government should raise a sukuk bond, which they've been raising since 2017. And in 2021, they raised about 250 billion. So they are all over the places. So the Jamina Road, you go towards Badagry at the other side, you'll be seeing all those signboards, beginning and the end of the sukuk bond. So those are the things that you can see that these funds are being used for. And given that interest is prohibited, where the returns come from is from profit sharing. So whenever you do all these things and you generate returns from there, the investors will be able to share part of the profits with the federal government. That is where majority of the returns come into place.
It's more like doing things in a Sharia compliant way.
Yes.
All right, sir. So why should people invest in halal investments?
The first reason why you are investing in halal products are based on your principles or based on your faith. So you want to invest your money. You don't just want to be saving for interest. Since interest is prohibited, then you can put this money into pure forms, such as investing in things that are ethical in nature, things that are purified, things where the underlying assets or the underlying activities do not involve some of the unethical practices, such as gambling, tobacco, alcohol, weapon production, adult entertainments, and the likes. And apart from that, you are also trying to diversify your portfolio. So once you are also trying to diversify your portfolio, you can also invest in halal products. So for instance, okay, don't let me go there now. And also apart from that, the liquidity that it also provides also is also part of the part of the reasons for wanting to invest in halal products, because you can withdraw your fund at any time as far as you are giving the fund managers notice to do this. So in Nigeria, it's within 3 to 5 days, so you'll be able to get your fund, and you can invest in units bit by bit, unlike conventional bonds, where if you want to invest without investing in a fund, you'll be requiring a huge sum of money to do that. But with as little as 2,005, 5,000, 10,000, you can invest in halal fixed income funds, and you'll be good to go.
How can the young investors tap into these investments without going against the principle generally agreed on?
So in terms of tapping, you will agree with me that for now we've not seen traction in sukuk in halal investments. For now, we've not really seen tractions, particularly in Nigeria, and that is due to some of the challenges that are facing the space. And the first is the low capital base of these Islamic banks. So for instance, we only have like 3 Islamic banks in Nigeria. We have the Jais Bank, we have Lotus, and we also have Taj. Their assets base somehow low, which means that they can be limited in some of the things that they do. And also we are having also challenges relating with regulations, maybe a lack of incentives for some of these issuers, and also limited product offering, which also boils down to asset base. So, but for investors to want to tap into this, probably they can want to go through fund managers. So there are fund managers that they have halal products, where you can just by bit you can invest in these products, such as the Cordros halal fixed income fund, which typically invests in short-term, medium-term, and long-term Sharia compliant fixed income instruments. And even the near cash, it is also put into the short-term fixed-term contracts, where at the end of the day, all the investment objectives are also guaranteed into the trust deed, where the investment manager continues to maintain the ethical nature of the investments. And with as low as 2,500 naira, you can invest in this fund. It provides you the diversification that you need for your investment portfolio. It also goes in line with your investment criteria, your investment objective, which is to be investing in things that are pure in nature, or you don't want to go against your faith, you don't want to go against your religion. And also the accessibility and also the liquidity that it provides, in that you can withdraw your money at any time. So you don't need to even go to the bank to invest in fixed income fund, and you can do this through fund managers, of which the typical example for this has been the Cordros halal fixed income fund.
Okay, so can you tell us more about Cordros?
Cordros has been in the investment and asset management space since more than a decade ago, creating wealth for investors. And the Cordros halal fixed income fund is one of the products under the Cordros, one of the products that is being managed by the Cordros Asset Management Limited, and it is an open-ended fund, so you can invest at any time, you can withdraw at any time, which is under the Investment and Securities Act, to carry on this halal investing in Nigeria. And like I said earlier on, the fund invests in short, mid, and long-term fixed income Sharia compliance instruments, such as the Sukuk bond. Then you also have short-term fixed contracts and the likes. And yeah, so minimum investments is like 2,500 naira, and you can multiples of 500 naira thereafter. So you can invest as much as you want in this fund. So the fund provides you capital preservation. It's also good for those that are looking at preserving their capital at medium risk level. And also, if you are looking for products that go in line with your principles, in line with your faith, in line with your religion, or in line with some beliefs that you have pure ethics in nature, then you can also take advantage of this fund. And also you can also withdraw. So as far as you are just giving notice, so within 3 to 5 days, then you'll be able to withdraw at ease. And the accessibility that it gives you is in such a way that you don't need huge amount of money. You don't need like, okay, if you want to invest in conventional bond now, like an individual, if you want to go into bond now, I think the minimum bid size is like 50 billion naira. So you don't need all that. That is why we are creating a fund for retail investors. So you can, as much as you like, any amount that you have, so with a minimum of 2.5, you can be able to invest in this. And by doing that, you are going in line with your principles, you are preserving your capital, and you're also earning returns at a medium risk level.
All right, thank you, sir. According to College Times, the $2.2 trillion Islamic finance industry will expand about 10% in 2022 to 2023. In terms of this, what will be the driver of activities in the Halal 2022 and beyond?
For 2022 and beyond. So we need to look at probably, if you are looking at the global macroeconomic environment, what are we seeing for the global environment? So the central thing now for the global economy is that probably majority of these advanced economies will be entering recession between now and the first half of 2023, and that will be having a spillover impact into the domestic economy of these emerging markets. So based on that, you'll be seeing significant slowdown in external demand. And besides, the global economy is also expected to continue to slow down into 2023, given the tighter monetary and financial conditions in line with the interest rates hiking cycles of these global central banks. And they're also seeing China also maintaining its zero COVID-19 strategy, which means demand will also continue to slow in China. And also, apart from that, the Russia-Ukraine conflict continues to linger on, with expectations that it will reach a point whereby Russia is trying to do a total stoppage of gas into these European economies, which will continue to stoke upward inflationary pressures. And as a result of that, we will continue to see global central banks increasing their interest rates. And with all these factors that I then mentioned, so it means that the risk going into 2023 remains high, and the uncertainties also continues to be high. So which means investments will continue to remain volatile into 2023. However, Sharia compliant investments, they are relatively, majority of the time, even when we're having huge uncertainties, when you're expecting that the global economy will slow down, there are heightened uncertainties. Majority of the time, you tend to see stable flows for this Sharia compliant fund, and this is because they typically prohibit investing in risky investments. So that typically explains why these Sharia compliant funds, why they are less volatile compared to conventional investments, even in the face of heightened uncertainties. And also, if you also want to look at data between 2002 and 2012. So between that period, you know that between that period in 2003, we had this SARS outbreak, and also in 2008, we had the global financial crisis. So looking at the Dow Jones Islamic finance market index between that period, and also comparing with the Dow Jones industrial average, the Islamic finance fund or the Islamic finance index actually outperformed that Dow Jones index between that 2012 and 2012. It has performed by about 14.26%. So that also lays credence to the fact that even with heightened uncertainties, Islamic finance tends to be stable and they tend to outperform, and that should be one of the reasons why I should even be into the halal market, into the Islamic fund going into 2023, and that will be an investment thesis for this Islamic for investing in Islamic funds into 2023. And coming down into Nigeria, future drivers for Nigeria continues to remain regulations, which is enabling in Nigeria. So you can see the CBN coming out with non-interest banks. So telling banks that they can establish. So in 2021, we saw the Taj banks, and I think we also saw the Lotus also coming up very well in 2021. And recently, we've seen the central bank approving Sterling Bank to also establish a separate non-interest bank. So the regulations are really enabling in Nigeria, and also there is also the continuous sukuk issuances by the federal government to fund critical infrastructure. So that is also a driver for the market, and we also see asset growth of these newly established banks. So as we continue to see new banks established, so the assets is also increasing, then that will spur them to continue to create good products for the good Islamic finance related products, and also the continued government support for the sector. So we also continue to enhance the Islamic fund in Nigeria. So those are the likely drivers as we move between now and beyond.
All right, thank you, sir. Thank you for joining our program.
Thanks for having me.
Halal investments have shown the resilience to navigate challenging global economic developments, and investors are embracing it in their portfolio. There is need for more understanding in its value and how it can serve as an alternative source of investments. It's high time Islamic finance institutions promote the use and benefits of these investments to newly investors. It will require more innovative products to be deployed around it by players in the financial service industry with continuous support from regulators. And that will be all for this edition of Islamic Finance Weekly. You can log on to our website www.proshare.co to watch our videos and read our stories. Till we come your way again, thank you for watching and have a great weekend.